How do you think the UFO hunters, which are like a movement in the United States, Steve Byron in Las Vegas, some other persons all around the United States, are they really helpful for your initiative? Are they helping to open eyes? Or it's just a kind of entertainment?
First of all, any research helps. And even entertainment can help. Right? There are a number of shows, like Hangar One. It's an entertaining show. Ancient Aliens is entertaining. And there's some truths there. And that's fine. And people, if that's what they want to do, if that's where they want to focus, they have every right to do that. But for the audience listening to this, let me be clear. That the extraterrestrial presence was proved long ago. It doesn't need to be proved again. It's already been proved several times over. And this is no longer about UFOs. UFOs is a ridiculous acronym. Some people say now it's called IAPs, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. Look, you could use that, sounds a little better. It's about extraterrestrials. If there's a basketball flying over here, I'm not interested in that. If somebody throws a frisbee over here, I'm not interested in that. It's a funny-looking cloud. I'm interested in the craft that have extraterrestrials in them. And that has been proven. So it's not about UFOs. And so the advocacy movement is like, don't need any more UFO stuff. It's about extraterrestrials. But obviously not everybody can be activists, and I understand that. Look, any research is helpful. The hoaxes are not helpful. The what we'll call private disinformation, people that are just putting out disinformation because they personally think we need to keep this hidden. The government's not behind them. They just personally, I don't want this, so I'm going to throw some pollution into the lake. And then the government's, of course, always polluting the lake. So I mean, that definitely doesn't help. I mean, there has been no activist movement in history like this. All right. Let me give you an example. There were for many years some very serious activists whose mission was to end the embargo of Cuba. They felt that it had gone on too long. It started in the 60s. At the end of the Cold War, it should have ended. It should have stopped this embargo. But the United States has a habit of holding grudges and also just being nasty. And so we just made an example of it and just kept embargoing it. As we know, that embargo ended last year. So, to some degree, the activists may have succeeded. Now, imagine, though, if you were someone who's going to take up the activist or the advocacy effort to end the embargo of Cuba. And so, you go out there and you say, we need to stop this embargo of this island nation. But the government had put out extensive information and statements, and press releases, saying, what Cuba? There's no island down there. What are you talking about? There's no island, there's no embargo. What are you talking about? And people say, well, what do you mean? We've got photos of this island. And they said, those are hoaxes. Well, some people told me they've been there. Second-hand information. They're lying. And that was the government's policy. And the media went along with it. Meaning, Washington Post says, apparently there are people that think there's an island down there and they're trying to stop an embargo, but there's no evidence for that. Imagine how hard that would be. No activist movement has ever had to do that. I mean, it's like the civil rights movement in the United States trying to raise money and the government saying, there's no segregation in the South. It's perfectly integrated. You've been fed a lie, right? Indian movement to end the British rule in India, and you've got the media and everybody saying there are no British here. There's just some tourists. No advocacy movement has ever had to persuade a government on a policy about something the government has successfully convinced a lot of people doesn't even exist. That's tough, right? The government's position is there's nothing there. And they've succeeded. That's difficult. That's what keeps me up at night. And then when you try to raise money, it's like there are people that are trying to save the whales in the Antarctic Ocean from the Japanese whaling fleet because they don't think it's a good thing. I agree. I think whaling should be outlawed. And people love whales, and so they go out. These groups like the Sea Shepherd program, they go to people and they say, like movie stars, and they say, look, we need another ship, and it'll cost $1 million, $2, $3 million. And the movie star says, no problem. Here's another ship. I don't know how many tens of millions of dollars have been invested in this program in the Antarctic Ocean. 20, 30, $40 million. And they've saved a few hundred whales. Now, God bless them. But it would be a lot harder and they go out to try to raise money to save the whales in the Antarctic Ocean if the government for 50, 60 years had been convincing everybody there are no whales in the Antarctic Ocean. There are no whales at all. It's just a myth. It'd be a lot harder to raise that money. And so when the advocacy movement against this truth embargo ET issue goes out, it's like us trying to say, help us save the whales, and people going, no, the government said there aren't any whales. I mean, I can't, can't do it. And that has been a brilliant move on their part. By making it virtually impossible to raise significant funding, they have very much contained the advocacy movement and kept it from getting out of hand. They're very good at what they do. On my hat's off to them. When they kept the secret of the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project, that's significant. Quite an effort. They succeeded pretty. Except the Soviets had spies in all those programs and had the information anyway, but whatever. But the truth embargo and the ET presence in its 70th year, when the ETs come and go as they please and do whatever they want, they fly in, they fly out, they turn up on ISS film, they take cattle and take all the blood out of it and cut, and they've done it thousands of times, and then leave the cow behind. They put crop circles down in the UK fields year after year, and somehow the government is still maintaining the truth. That is impressive, right? And it shows how successful propaganda can be if you really work at it. And they've put billions of dollars into their secrecy programs, tens of billions of dollars. That just shows how dangerous government can be when they are not contained, when they are allowed to go that far. And so the truth embargo and this advocacy movement is also, just as WikiLeaks, the Hacktivist, Anonymous, Snowden, and all the others are starting to show. But the truth embargo and the ET activist movement also is showing that the vast security structures and states are way past their shelf life. They are way too big. They are abusing power and secrecy. And if we do not get them under control, the republics that we have become fond of, the parliamentary governments we've become fond of, whether they be Russia, whether they be United Kingdom, maybe United States, maybe in India, are going to be gone. No one will trust them anymore. And the corporations and the secret worlds will come in and say, okay, fine, we'll run things from now on. And you will do what we say.